A moment for the young American. His first Champions League goal of the season coming on Tuesday. Chelsea beating Lille 2-0 at Stamford Bridge. Goal came in the 63rd minute. Not the game winner, but kind of the game clincher, if you will. He was playing in that left wing attacking midfield role. Was subbed out in the 80th minute for Herc's favorite player, Timo Werner. Herc, we're less than a month until the Mexico game. Will Christian Pulisic's form last?
It better last. And yes, why is it every time we hit the Champions League knockout rounds, Christian Pulisic transforms himself into this best of CONCACAF level type of player? He did it last year. He enters that form when you're like, wow, he rivals Alphonso Davies. Wow, he will rival a Jonathan David. He will rival any player in this continent. It happened last year. Okay, it's happening again this year. He has an air for the dramatic. He has an air for the grand stage. And who is his favorite victim in CONCACAF? He may be struggling in World Cup qualifiers. If you look at the numbers, if you look at the overall play, but he loves to play against Mexico. He may not always play well against Mexico, but iconic moments. Yes. Nations League, decisive penalty, and then the iconic celebration. The 2-0 in Cincinnati. He wasn't even a starter. Comes off the bench. Boom! Header off of Timothy Weah. Cross. Iconic celebration. Man in the mirror. Jersey. This man loves to play against Mexico. And he's gotten confident. He is putting the ball in the back of the net. He is playing where he wants, and he's doing it well.
Will the form continue? It will if the health continues, right? We always have to put that asterisk out there with Christian Pulisic. But right now, if you look at what's happening around Chelsea, you got to feel really good about where Christian Pulisic is. There's a great article right now on our website, ESPN.com, James Ollie writing it, about how Pulisic has basically made himself a very, very difficult decision for Thomas Tuchel. This was from the article. He made back-to-back starts. One in this game against Lille, before against Crystal Palace. That's only the third time that's happened this season. But maybe more critically, Herc, they were back-to-back starts, not just in the same position, but in his best position. That's going to obviously help him with Chelsea. It's going to obviously help him with the U.S. national team. The other thing, when we talk about Chelsea, is if you ever watch ESPN FC, you know the whole conversation around Chelsea right now is who's not playing. Yeah. And that's Lukaku. And I know, they're not the same player. They're not the same position. But it's a guy who's right now very much out of favor, kind of out of the rotation, and it might open up more spots and more playing time for Pulisic. And you say he's big in big games? Well, he's got a big one coming up this weekend, Sunday, the final of the Carabao Cup against Liverpool, who we know he's had some success against before. Great opportunity to get another start, maybe a third in a week, and get another big game under his belt, and maybe another big game performance. I'm starting to like what I'm seeing from Christian Pulisic at Chelsea, definitely making a turnaround there. What about the pressure, Herc? Because the last article we saw from James Ollie on ESPN.com was about how the pressure is starting to mount for Christian Pulisic. So with Weston McKennie out, is the pressure now back on Captain America?
I don't think it ever left Captain America, and he better embrace this pressure. Christian Pulisic, you can talk about the pressure that he feels with the U.S. men's national team, but every time we've seen him in a knockout round in the Champions League, that pressure doesn't seem to bother him. He seems to excel under that pressure. He seems to actually enjoy it. Did you see his dance? Did you see the gritty?
We're not talking about the Champions League, though, Herc. We're talking about with the U.S.
That's a bigger stage, so embrace it.
If you
He's
embrace not it, the guy
listen
in the
to
Champions
what I am
League.
saying.
He's the guy with the
U.S. If you embrace it with the Champions League on that stage, embrace it here. Be that man here. You know you're going to go play against Mexico. Not in the second leg of the window. I'm sorry, not in the second game of the window. Not in the third game of the window. The first game of that window. If you win in Azteca, you are historic, and you put yourself in prime position for what's next. If you're Greg Berhalter, don't do this thing like you did against Panama. Don't focus on what's coming after. Focus on what's in front of you. Same thing for Christian Pulisic. Embrace that pressure.
It's different pressure, though. I really do believe that, Herc. I think it's so different when you are expected to contribute than when you are expected to lead. Like, maybe you have a better or a different memory of Christian Pulisic. To me, the best games I've ever seen Pulisic in a U.S. jersey are still the World Cup qualifiers pre-2018. Those last two games of that cycle, he was the only half bright spot in Cuba. And the game against Panama in Orlando, I don't think I've ever seen an American player, and I've said this on the show before, dominate a World Cup qualifier like that. Maybe you go way back and you find a Claudio Reyna. You might find moments from Landon Donovan. But Pulisic in that game, when he was expected to contribute but not expected to lead, was untouchable. And I do think that Weston McKennie being there would have taken a lot of pressure off his shoulders.
Weston McKennie being there, Giovanni Reyna being there, of course it would have taken pressure off Christian Pulisic, but Christian Pulisic needs to do what every young, I shouldn't even say what every, because only Landon Donovan, Clint Dempsey probably had somewhat of that magnitude, but he needs to embrace this, Seb. Mexico is his favorite victim, then go out there and do it, have fun.
Yep.
Because he doesn't have, and this is a very minute, the U.S. men's national team fan base isn't toxic like you will see English fan bases. There isn't his name won't be in the papers, the following day. It won't be like that. Come on, man. Embrace this type of pressure. This is the fun part.